Hi everyone, and welcome to another video about video games with me, Rob, here on the Geek Show. And today we're talking about Mythgard, which is developed and published by Rhino Games, and it's out on iOS and Android, and also PC and Mac as well. It's a collectible card game, a CCG, that plays in a similar vein to games like, I suppose, Magic the Gathering to a degree, and also, what's the other one called? You know, that big one from Blizzard? Hearthstone, that's the one. It's a bit like those sorts of games, where it deviates a little bit from the usual fare is in its setting and in its storytelling. Now, if you play through the story mode, what you'll find is an interesting narrative that has its roots in Greek mythology with a little bit of Norse mythology and various things thrown in there as well. You, at the beginning, take on the role of a young lady called Percy, who looks like a punk wearing a ripped Union Jack t-shirt, sporting a mohawk, and wielding a baseball bat. Now, she is in the underworld, and she is kind of getting angry at the fact that her boyfriend who left years ago hasn't come back yet, and he's basically trapped her in the underworld. So your first job is to leave the underworld, which you do by beating the gatekeeper of the underworld and walking out. And you might be upsetting all sorts of plans, but them's the breaks. You don't take no crap from anybody. You're going to go off and find your boyfriend and ask him what the hell's going on. I'll have to admit, when this game started, I didn't put two and two together, and I know a fair bit about Greek mythology, so it didn't strike me at all until a little bit later on in the game that Percy is basically Persephone. Go figure. And once that clicked, then I started realizing more and more. This is where the game kind of comes into its own, because you see familiar things that you didn't expect to see as part of the game, as characters in the game. The Valkyries, for example, are an all-female biker gang. You have vampires, you have angels, and various things like that who have access to holy magic and stuff. You have a little wolf pup who follows Percy around called Fen, who obviously, once you start putting the clues together, is Fenrir, I'm assuming. And that's the thing, the story mode is actually quite interesting. It does catch you, it does keep you, and it does make you want to see more of what's going on and more of the world around you. The story is told through a series of stills. You don't really get control over the story until it comes to an actual battle. And that's where I think things could have been changed a little bit, giving you more interactivity with the story, but that I can kind of forgive, because at the end of the day, this is a surprisingly enjoyable CCG. I have a long history playing games like Magic the Gathering, and so when I come into one of these video game-based CCGs, I'm always a little bit skeptical, because the computer can never replicate a human opponent, and playing against a human opponent in a CCG is always a lot tougher, especially when they have their own customized deck. And I understand that there are human opponents on these CCGs who have their own customized decks and things like that. And that's all well and good, but I like to see my opponent. I suppose I'm a bit old school like that, but don't let my old school opinions put you off from playing Mythgard, because I'll be honest, yes, you have levels and you have a library of cards and you have all sorts of things that you can do. You can buy new packs and open them, and you can take part in PvP and various other things like that. I've tried games like Hearthstone and stuff like that, and I never really got into them. Mythgard is probably the first video game-based CCG that I've invested time in, partly because I'm reviewing it, but also partly because I actually enjoyed it. The hook of using mythology rather than coming up with a fantasy story that was complete and original in its own right, that's what got me. I always like to see reinventions or reimaginings of things that I already know. And so for me, this kind of played right into my wheelhouse. I'll be honest, I have enjoyed Mythgard. I think that in comparison to other games of this type, it's among the better ones. I wouldn't say it's the best. I think it's difficult to say which one truly is the best, but I'd say it is easily among the better ones that I've tried. It's a lot simpler in its presentation, which I like. It doesn't overcomplicate the menu system. It keeps things nice and simple. You have simple and straightforward instructions that tell you what you can and can't do. Aside from the missions that you can complete and the levels that you can get, you have various gaming modes that fit into this that get unlocked as you progress through the game. You have various gaming modes like ranked and casual and brawl and gauntlet and arena, and your main story mode, which I find the most interesting since I like to play through the story mode before I get to any of the PvP or PvE stuff. I like to know what the hell's going on, and I like to kind of build up my library of cards so I can basically tweak my deck the way I want it. But that's my style of playing. Some people might just dive into this both feet first and say, hey, this is how I want to play it. As I said, I think Mythgard is among the better CCGs out there that you can dive into. I think it's an interesting world and an interesting set of cards that it's got. It's got some great artwork. It's got an interesting plot. And I'm really interested in playing more of it, which I will be doing after this video. So let us know what you thought about Mythgard and what you think about video game-based CCGs in general. Did you like this game if you've played it? Are you interested in trying this game? Have you ever played a video game-based CCG in the past, and are you interested in ever trying one? Leave us a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. We're always interested in finding out what everyone thinks. If you want to see more videos like this, then hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and we will see you all next time.